Exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, GeoSon, Podchaser, TE Live, Rumble, and more. And yes, this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests and co-hosts and series to that. And if you missed my show with the Waltons or the daughter of Lucy Arnaz, upcoming, we're going to have a show with Dr. John Gray again. As you know, I am Dr. Mercer reporting live from San Diego. That's why it doesn't look like my normal living room studio. But I am in San Diego speaking at Secret Knock, which is an annual conference, Yahoo Finance #1, LA Weekly, Forbes, Inc. all say that it's the business networking event to be at. And that's why I'm there. And so I get to change my background. And I get to do some fun things. And I'm so delighted that we're doing some cross-pollination this week. And you may recognize Beth Linder-Moss. She's my wonderful co-host on Tuesdays for Step Up to a Better Life with
Beth Linder-Moss.
and Dr. Marissa. And we just had a show on Tuesday, and we talked about a myth. Actually, Sam, you might like this, about bulking and strength training, and all of that. It was a great show. And then Thursdays, you know, it's Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
And Sam and I get to be a little naughty on a Thursday morning. We're almost to the weekend, and we talk about romance, relationships, sex, orgasms, the whole 8 yards, or 8 yards is pretty long. We don't want that big. We just want manageable. But anyways, we're starting right on topic, but I thought it would be great to introduce Beth to Sam and talk about a topic we have not talked about, which is so fitness expert, and I'll let you introduce yourself in a second. But that whole idea of working out, keeping fit, and how that intersects when your partner may not have the same goals or the same attitude or BS belief systems about health, well-being, and fitness. So that I thought would be a fun topic. And it would also give Sam another chance to get himself in trouble when he says things like, you know, it's up to the girl. Actually, Alon said it even more strongly. She's my Friday co-host, daughter to Otis Williams, The Temptations. That's why it's called Tempting Conversations with Alon. And what's interesting is tomorrow, Sam is going to cross-pollinate and join us on Alon and I's show. So it's a fun week of switching partners. What is that? Instead of wife swap, it's co-host swap.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see. It's the San Diego water. Now, I'm going to let you introduce yourselves a little bit different than usual. And that is to use the question that I do on the red carpet, which is, I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, "Who are you?" and what do you want? So, Beth Linder-Moss, who are you and what do you want?
Well, I'm Beth Linder-Moss. I am an exercise physiologist, sports nutritionist, health and wellness coach. I am certified in everything fitness, nutrition you can ever imagine, personal trainer. I also, by doing all of that, also fit into the whole thing of working with a lot of people. And I'm also like their personal psychologist as well sometimes, because we get into deep things as well. And I am a mom of 3. I have a 21-year-old and twins girls that are 17. And I am, what do I want? I want to like get in with you guys and have some fun. That's what I want. I want to have some fun.
Not between the sheets, but you are sandwiched between the two of us. All right, Sam, your turn.
Okay, well, my name is Sam Works. I'm the co-host for today's show. What do I want? I want to make sure that everyone is open-minded, okay? And I get to share my experience and hopefully line people up the way I want the world to turn, because a lot of people have their ideas and experiences, which is great, and there's not just one way of doing things in life, but I want to share my experience and maybe give you guys an idea that you guys haven't thought before, or maybe wanted to take on the challenge of accepting it and seeing like your own path through my eyes or through my words. So I'm here to inspire and hopefully align the stars with whoever needs help.
And Sam used to be my sound engineer, and he has since left, but not left co-hosting, but he has a business. He's I guess you would be called an entrepreneur, but you do real estate. So if you have real estate needs, I'm doing a commercial for you. You can contact Sam Works. He's in the IE. All right, so here we go. We're going to have breakfast. This is going to go quicker because there's 3 of us, but you know the drill. I like to start every show. Today is show number 903. I can't believe it, but I want us to start in the most positive way with taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And so Beth knows the drill. Sam knows the drill. We're going to do 8 specific things that we are grateful for. Please feel free to go in the chat and you can add so that we do less. But there's 8 things that we want to be grateful for that is outside of ourselves. And then we go to the bottom of the bun, which is, yes, I like the the bottom of the bun, which is 8 specific appreciations that you have about yourself, so that you're not always looking outside of yourself for approval. You know who you are, you know what you're great at, you know what you're not so great at, but most of the time you're 88% fabulous. And that's the weight training of the BS belief systems that I want you to get better at, because I believe that happiness starts with self-care. All right, here we go. I am grateful that I have a very smart phone that I can broadcast from anywhere I am. Canada last week, San Diego this week, and going home tomorrow for Long Beach. What are you grateful for? Let's go that way. Beth.
All right. All right. I am grateful for Sam. Thanks for having me on today. So
yeah,
I'm grateful for you. So thank you. I'm looking
I
forward
like that. Cool. I'm grateful for hot showers, like hot water. Like that is so big. Imagine not having hot water when you take a shower, especially during this time. It would not be good.
Nope, for sure. I am grateful that I have a lot of really interesting people that know me, recognize me. I come to these once a year. And so it's really nice when the co-founder of Priceline, Larry Namer, the co-founder of E-Entertainment, Greg Reed, who's the guy that runs Secret Knock, and his son. The best thing was the first day I was there, Colt Reed just came and did a hug on me, and it was just wonderful. It feels kind of like a camp reunion. So Oh, and my former co-host Cynthia Kahi is here as well, so that was fun. Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to say I'm grateful that I'm actually on the East Coast because it's 11 o'clock here. And I actually have already been working I worked over 6 hours already. So I'm grateful that I was.
Round of applause.
Say that, I've actually worked, I guess, 5.5 hours. So, yeah. So I'm grateful that I get to get some work in before I actually come on, and that it's 11 o'clock here.
See, kudos to you. That's what I like. I appreciate that. I'm grateful for, being able, like, as a realtor, being able to work when I want to work and work where I want to work, have that free will and not feeling so tied down in a business.
I'm grateful that I have a car to drive, and I love driving. My grandma said that I used to be a race car driver because wherever we go, I like map this out and do this. And I actually went to the Speedway in California, and my accountant treated me for my birthday to 10 laps around that. And I literally had the guy who was monitoring tell me car number, I think it was 23, please slow down. So when you're told to slow down on a speedway, that's saying something. And I don't want to hear about Asian woman driver.
Okay.
All right. And the last one, flip a coin. Well, since you've been up longer, Beth, you get the last gratitude.
All right. Well, saying that I already came from work, I'm grateful for like the irons I could, for the hot iron, so I can iron my hair straight before I get because that's exactly what I did because I work with a ponytail every day. So I came home and I quickly ironed my hair. So there we go. I'm grateful that I can have the time to do that for a couple minutes.
Fantastic. All right. That's the top of the bun. We're going to the bottom. What are things that you appreciate about yourself that you like? We'll start with Sam.
Oh, man. One thing I appreciate about myself is knowing that every day, every new day is another opportunity. It's like to progress in life and do things right that you kind of regret that you did the day before. So very appreciate that. I'm very open-minded to that.
All right. Beth?
About myself, I appreciate the fact that I am a very timely person. So I'm always I'm always like on time. I really know that I got this from my dad, who's definitely like, if you say 11, he's there at like 10:30. So I'm not quite that timely, but I'm pretty timely. So I appreciate that I'm, don't have to like my husband, I have to tell him 10:30 when I want him there at 11. So
Definitely the topic today around opposites attracting, for sure. I appreciate that I have a great sense of humor, even when I'm the only one laughing, and that laughter is my favorite sound in the world, in my life. All right, Sam?
I really appreciate that I have a low temper, and I'm very patient because, I work with a lot of people who don't have their stuff together in a sense. And it's like they move to other agents because the other agents get so frustrated. But with me, it's like, I understand you're new to this. I got to stay cool, calm, and collected. Because if I don't, then that's my business on the line. So, having a, cool temper is very, very good.
All right, Beth?
All right, I'm going to go off of yours and say I also have a lot of patience. And I also need it when I'm working with a lot of members and clients who are nervous or scared or things like that when they're first, joining new fitness program or starting nutrition, any of that stuff. They get very nervous, and then you have to have a lot of patience with them because sometimes, there's a big barrier that can happen. So I have a lot of patience for that. So I too have a lot of patience and need it for my profession as well.
Well, I'm so glad that you all have that, because that word is not even in my vocabulary. People thank me for being patient. I look over my shoulder to see who they're talking to. I am very happy to admit this, because I never pray for it, because the last time I prayed for patients, I got teenagers. So I am super grateful. I appreciate that. I know that about myself, and so I have holes in my tongue, my lips, take deep breaths a lot, and I just do the best that I can. 88% of the time, I keep my mouth shut. I'm not talking about the expressions on my face. People all say to me all the time, it's like, you don't have to say a word. We can read it on your face. And that is it for the bottom of the bun. Thank you so much for playing along. I see eyeballs in the studio. Thank you for taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. I promise that if you do it for, let's do 28 days. Some people said 30 days is too much. The research is not clear. It's 28 days, 30 days to create a new habit. Some are even as positive as 21 days. But I promise, if you start your day with gratitude, end the day with appreciations, you're going to sandwich your day in the most positive way. So thank you for having breakfast with me and Sam and Beth Linder-Moss. All right, here we go. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about what happens when you're like, let's go work out, let's go to the gym, and your significant other says, you go ahead, I'm good. My bathing suit says, let's go work out, and my sweatpants say, you're good, have another donut and stay in bed. I'm not saying that it's that extreme, but what do you do in a relationship when one person really wants to take care of their bodies and the other one could care less about care? And again, I'm saying that's the extreme. So that was the question at hand, and you can expand from there. Is it a deal breaker? How important is it? And then Beth and Sam will have their own angles on this. But that's what I wanted to talk about. And, feel free to jump right in. What you think? I want Beth actually to start, because this came about when I said to her, because she's very, her deal was, Sam, I'm gonna just speak for her for a second. Her deal was, her husband wanted to have kids. I mean, they both wanted to have kids. And she said, on one condition, that I get 1 hour a day to work out. And I'm like, what? That's like, I've never heard that kind of a deal, like other kinds of deals, but we're not going to talk about those yet. That, and then I asked her in the green room, are you like, is your husband, is he like, a trainer, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, nope. And so please start, Beth, with that and carry on that conversation and tell me, how that started, what the reaction was, did you know this going into the marriage, things that work and don't work? So.
Yeah. So basically that was my deal breaker for having kids. I was like, I'm definitely working out every single day. But when we were dating, and even before we were married, years before we actually had kids as well, but we worked out together in the beginning. So my husband also does like to work out, but not as much as me. He does, like, he goes a couple days a week. He's like, good. I basically work out 6 to 7 days a week, doing all different things, so that for me, it was so important that I'm not going to lose it. It's part of who I am. To me, is I work out. It makes me feel good. It's my stress reliever. So he was totally fine with it. 21 years later, we're still, still have the same deal. And he's still, I'll be like, you need to be home because I'm going to the gym. And he's like, okay, So for the most part, if it works out, like that. So, but I will tell you that, when you're saying, is it a deal breaker, not deal breaker because of like one person wants to work out more than the other person, or, I will say that going to the gym, sometimes going together is nice, but sometimes going separate is really nice as well. Like I look at it as my time. It's like my me time. It's the time that I take out for myself. And it's not that you don't want to be with your significant other. And sometimes it is fun to do it like together, because like I said, when we were dating and we were first married, we did go to the gym way more. Like now we never go together. I'm like, you go, I'll go, like different times kind of thing. I just like to go be in my zone. So I find that, that's my time for me. And sometimes, other couples may like to do it together. And that's great too. I just think it depends like where you are and what you need.
Do you ever on the way to the gym think, he really should be going to the gym?
So he does work out. He just is not doesn't do it as much as I do, or as intense as I do. But he does work out. He does pretty much like eat pretty healthy. I will say that my house is very healthy. And so like he does sometimes like to go out and, have his like treat meals, and many treat meals out, because it's not quite as healthy as So like there's jokes around all the time that like he'll go out to eat and have his pizza because we don't have like pizza in the house kind of thing, But no, I never feel like, he should really be working out. Sometimes I'll like, I don't think it's, sometimes I'll say to him like, oh, I think your belly, maybe you should have a little less pizza kind of thing, in a really nice way. But, it's not.
As you tug on his love handles.
But he is thin and he is fit. It's just, I personally like to go into my own zone when I'm like working out. So
got it. Sam?
Well, I don't, as you all know, I'm single, so I don't have to deal with, a significant other trying to drag them to the gym. Whether it's the gym or just being active, going on hikes and all that stuff. But I do think it's super important, not just physically, but mentally, so I go on runs in the morning as often as I can if I don't wake up in time. And it sucks. Like I hate it. Right. But the thing is you're training your mind to do something that you don't want to do. Right. Because in life, there's going to be a bunch of things that come your way that you don't want to do. Now, if you're telling, your man or your lady, like, hey, why don't you go to the gym? I'm in sweats. I'm going to eat. And, I'm going to gain some weight. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to do me. Right. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go through the intensity. I don't want to break my mental barrier, So what you do to most things, you do to everything. Right. So if you don't go through that training or that practice, then when life hits you, you're going to more likely not, I don't want to say fail, but you're going to struggle more, right? Because you're not in that mindset. You don't have that mentality of like, okay, this sucks, but I'm still going to do it anyways, right? So when it comes to fitness or when it comes to business, you have to keep going no matter how you feel or what you think, right? So the fitness is very important. And not even the mental part, but the physical part. When you start working out and you feel good, like I've never met anyone who got done with the workout and they're like, dude, I feel like crap. You know what I mean? I mean, unless they didn't eat or like dehydrated or something like that, they didn't prep, correctly. But the gym is the only place where everyone opens the door for each other. You know what I mean? Like you go to the bank, you'll probably have the door closed before you get there. You go to the gym, people will be there and hold the door open for you until you walk across the parking lot to get inside, or vice versa. So it elevates your energy, your vibration, your frequency. It gets you in that stronger mentality of like, hey, I don't want to do this, but I'm doing this, right? So it's very important, even in relationship, because in relationships, sometimes you got to bite your tongue. Sometimes you got to do things that you don't want to do. Like, you're watching your game, but then your lady tells you to go take out the trash. You're like, I don't want to do it, but you got to do it, And so it really helps the mental and physical aspect of life.
Sam, you have a new best friend. It's like you're watching Beth, like, yeah. Oh my Lord. I'm totally outnumbered because hiking is against my religion. Can't stand dirt. So running, walking, screw that. I do agree with the discipline of working out and having that. That's how I've been able to lose the weight, because I literally roll out of bed and go straight to the gym before my mind engages and debates whether I should go or not. So I agree with that. It's a good practice. But let me put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room, which is something that I'm going to be completely outnumbered now, because Alon also feels this way, which is when you have a partner who is gaining some weight that is not due to pregnancy, or has gained weight and has not lost it after the kid, and or has had a little too much pizza and the tummy is getting to the point of dicky do, which is when your tummy stick out more than your dicky do, or you're a woman and you have a booby do, which your boobs stick out more than your tummy sticks out more than your booby do. So do you have an expectation that you should look like you did when you first met? And two, you said, Beth, that you say, the tummy, or, the pizza in a nice way. I want to hear how you say that. That is a nice way, because I have yet to hear anyone say you might not want to eat that, or, honey, I love the way you used to look, or, you're not fat, you're puffy. I mean, what is it that you can actually say without offending and or creating a hiccup in the relationship? So there you go. All right, your turn.
So I've never called him or anybody else like fat, anything. Like, I don't believe in any calling names or puffiness or anything like that. What I have said is like, hey, he'll be like, I'm going for pizza. I'm like, hey, maybe you should get a salad with chicken on it, giving other options instead. Or like, I don't think I saw you go to the gym this week. Did you go to the gym? Like, like that. But like, I might, but I have never called him or would call anyone like fat or use any of those kinds of words. But I definitely would give like little like hints to saying like, maybe you should go to the gym. Maybe you should find the time. I know you're busy. My husband is like a workaholic and works 24/7. So I would be like, he goes to the gym a lot. And this is why I say I don't think he works out that hard. He'll kill me. But anyway, it's okay. So like he goes on he's like literally like on the bike. He rides a recumbent bike and he's on there texting the whole time. And I'm like, so how hard you actually really working out while you're texting the entire time? Like, texting, emailing, doing all of it on the bike. I'm like, I don't think you're getting out quite as much as you really should while you're there. So.
And what is his response?
At least I'm there. And then and that he's working harder than I think he is, because he does that. He'll when he lifts, he'll be like, oh, I do it in between sets. I'm like, okay.
He doesn't get annoyed when you bring that stuff up?
No, I think we like joke about it more.
Okay.
I think it's more of like a joke, and like it's lighter. It's definitely lighter. He's not a big guy either, so it's lighter kind of thing. And overall, like, it's just, I think for anybody who wants to have their significant other like go to the gym or watch what they're eating. There's just so much nicer ways to say it than, hey, I think you're getting puffy or fat or whatever it might be, like hint it like I do. I give like little hints, like little tiny little hints. Go, Sam.
Or Sam, let me give a station ID. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering who's in my studio today, you are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind. And we're having a fun cross-pollination show today with two of my fabulous co-hosts, Beth Linder-Moss, who's on every first and third Tuesday of the month, talking about Step Up to a Better Life with health, fitness, and more. And Thursday, Straight Talk with Sam Works and Dr. Marissa. And we talk about anything to do with relationships, romance, and more. And today we're talking about the cross-section of fitness goals, fitness, BS belief systems, and how that plays out in couples who may not agree or do the same thing. So go, Sam.
So I have a relationship, not in that sense, but like I take care of my boss, right? Like he needs me to help him stay healthy and be on the grind and go to the gym. And I used to be very light with him, like how you are with your husband. But then like if I give it to him lightly, then he takes it lightly. And he's like, it's just a joke. And then like I see him like eating Reese's, and I'm like, so it got to the point where like if I see him drinking a soda, I would take that soda and I'll dump it out and be like, bro, I care about you and you know that. Like I don't know why you're trying to ruin yourself. And then when he was like, because I don't work at the radio station no more. And so it's been like a couple weeks. And then so I went in there to visit and I see like McDonald's in his trash can, and I called him out on it. I was like, when was the last time you had McDonald's? He's like how'd you know? Like da da da. I'm like, bro, you can't hide that from me. He's like, well, I've been doing really good. Like I was just celebrating. I was like, that's like someone who like stopped drinking alcohol is like, hey, I haven't drank in a year. Let's celebrate. Let's get trashed. Like an alcohol, you know what I mean? Like that just does not make sense, And it's like sometimes.
Celebrate by buying like new workout clothes, right?
Right? Not by the stuff that you're trying to get rid of or like you're trying to stop, And so with him, like I'll even like if he's eating junk food, I would throw away his junk food and I'll make him better food. Like I have to go out of my way to make sure that he's being on top of it, And it's like, and I gotta remind him, you're like, bro, I love you. Like this is why I'm doing it. Like. And he's like, oh, but it's sugar free. I'm like, bro, it's processed. Like, what are you doing? And it's like, it's cool because we're both dudes. So I can be on his head more. But like, also, Beth, like you're married to your husband. So that's why you can have these conversations and it's taken lightly. Cause it's like, you guys love each other. It's like the love's there. But with me, I got to be a little more hard on Mark. So that's how I do it. I literally take his stuff and throw it in the trash or dump it. And I have to make him something healthier.
So let me put the moose on the table again. At what point is one side or one person, it's my body, it's my life, it's my prerogative. Do not tell me what to do. You do you, I'll do me. And, this is just the way I want it. And I'm not saying that people actually have that FU kind of, I really don't care. But I am saying that I know for me, I have that voice. I have one side that will say, that this is not the healthiest thing. This is not good. You had 2 hip replacements. Your hips don't lie. You don't want to have more weight. You do feel better now that you've lost the 35. You want to maintain that, and it's good, and yay you. And then I have another voice that will definitely come out if you said to me, are you sure you want to have that butter tart in Canada? Are you sure you want to, you're going to gain it all back if you, have more of this, if you whatever. And that voice will bring up my brat, my internal brat named Agnes. And she'll say, F you, mind your own business. It's my body. I don't really give a flying through a rolling donut what you think. And I like that donut. So I just want to put the reality side to, even that internal battle that a lot of us have around weight. And why does it matter so much what we look like, and why, why can't the rule be you love me no matter what I look like? You love me unconditionally. You're supposed to. That's what you said in your vows, till death do us part. And an extra 100 pounds, 50 pounds, 20 pounds shouldn't make a difference.
Who wants to go first? Go ahead, Beth.
Oh, I thought you wanted to go first.
I mean, I have my views, but I'm gonna let you speak.
Okay, I was like, I thought you were going to go first. So I think that a lot of times what we have to also take apart is that some people are okay being bigger, looking the way they are, and they're totally fine with it. But then we also have to look at the other side and say, can you, walk up and down the steps without getting out of breath? Can you do the things that you want to do without, like I said, getting out of breath or not feeling good? Are you feeling sluggish? Are you tired? Are you not able to get through your day? If you're a parent, are you able to get on the floor and play with your kids or play soccer in the backyard? And sometimes these are the things that actually, to be that parent on the sideline and not be able to do that kind of stuff and know that your significant other actually feels bad about themselves doing it. Sometimes that's like a little bit of a reminder as well. So there's a lot of parts, I think, to it. So like you have to look at both sides. It doesn't mean that somebody has to be model thin. I'm not model thin. I mean, I work out every day and I watch what I eat, but I'm not, a size 00 or anything. But you have to be, we have to be able to do other things in life that are super important.
All right. Sam?
She froze. Okay, so I guess it's my turn.
Am I back? I'm back, right?
Yes, yeah.
Back. You're back.
Yeah, no, I saw it go out and come in. Okay, so watch your significant other have high blood pressure, diabetes, or any of these other things. Like you're looking out for them as well, and they have that bad person on the devil on their shoulder as well. They have the devil and the angel on their shoulder as well. And sometimes when they hear from their loved ones that it is important that you want them to also get better and to be able to do the things, or their kids or whatever, I think that too takes in part. But you also got to be a little light on, so know who you're dealing with before, like Sam, you take someone's stuff away from them, right? You can do it because you guys have that kind of relationship that you're able to. But if you do it to somebody else and it makes them feel really bad about themselves, then we have to think of other ways that you could approach it. But the reality is that no one's saying that you have to be a size 00, but there's so many other things to it besides just the way you look. You can be on a heavier side and, still be able to, play with your kids and go up and down the steps and whatever. If you could do all of that, then there's then maybe that's okay that they're feeling that they're a little heavier. I think there's a lot you have to look into it. Go ahead, Sam.
But hold on.
Okay.
But if the expectation is that you look the way I was first attracted to you, and now that you've gained the weight, I'm not attracted to you anymore, right?
Yeah, that does definitely happen. Oh yeah, for sure that happens. I definitely think that does put makes some relationships very difficult, because what if I stayed the same and my significant other got to change their body significantly? It definitely happens. But I will say that the significant other cannot lose the weight for, like, if it was my significant other, cannot lose the weight for me. They have to do it for themselves. Otherwise it's never going to work and it's never going to stay. So that's also what can make it hard in a relationship. And you know, I could definitely see, you know, like I'm being looked on the light side of it and how it works for me, but there are definitely relationships, and you see it all the time, where one person stayed the same, the other person got significantly bigger, and then like they broke up, and then the other person was ready to lose the weight, and they're now like, look at me, I look amazing now, but they did it for themselves. Like it has to happen when they're ready to do it for themselves. So I could definitely see how it can make some of it pretty difficult. What do you think, Sam?
If you're in that type of relationship, you're in the wrong relationship. If you're just dating someone because you find them physically attractive, and then, you know, time goes on, and then you're like, oh man, like I don't really find you attractive anymore because you don't look the way you used to be, you're in the wrong relationship anyways, regardless, because during that time you should have already bonded emotionally, physically, spiritually, and all that good sense. And again, there's no fountain of youth, so as you get older, you're not going to look like the way you did before. So that's being like unrealistic. First of all, that's irrelevant when it comes to relationships, because time changes, body changes. It's not there anymore. You know what I mean? You could do better than what you are now, but you can't be who you were before, right? Like
I think that people also, I was gonna say, people like gain, like say they look different, they gain the weight because sometimes I'm gonna like just kind of throw this out there to you, Sam, because like, so sometimes what happens is people are gaining weight because something that they're going through. Sometimes people emotionally eat, right? And just say that they're depressed. So sometimes like mentally they're in a different place, although you were very much in love, right? And you could still very much love the person, although they're bigger, they might be bigger because like they ate out of depression or something like that too.
Well, and it's not even that. It's like when you're younger, you're running around, you're being young, you're being active, you know. Now you have a job, you have a career, you're not moving as much, you're not eating as much, or you're eating more because you're not moving as much, you know. Like there's so many factors in life to where it doesn't make sense to try to be as young and as beautiful as you were before. You're still young and like you're still beautiful. You may not be as young as you were, but you know, times change, your body changes, you know. So if you're in that relationship, you're in the wrong relationship. And then what's your little Angus, what's your name?
Agnes,
yeah, she deserves to die. She doesn't belong in this world, because let me tell you why. Okay, which this can be controversial, but like when girls gain weight and like someone says something about her, that's called fat shaming, and then people get trash talked on. But when a guy gains weight and someone talks trash on him, they're just talking trash. No one's like, hey, you can't say that, like da-da-da. Like there's no fat shaming when it comes to men, which is kind of ridiculous. But like when it comes to women, it's called fat shaming. It's crazy. But you listen to your conscience, right? Because metaphorically speaking, what I believe is your conscience is an authentic voice of God. Okay, he's trying to lead you to where you should be and where you want to be. Okay, but then you got little Agnes over here saying like, no, you want that, and that's just your selfishness talking to you, because you have to understand, okay, which voice is talking, right? Which one is trying to benefit me and which one's trying to put me in the wrong path, because there is good and then there is bad, right? In all of us, in between all of us, and even in this world. And both sides are playing the role on who's going to take control, right? So if you have Agnes telling you all the time, telling you to tell that person to F off because they're trying to help you, first of all, that's going against your conscience. That's going against the people that you love, that care about you. And that's going against yourself. And then you're going to eat that cookie, you're going to eat that donut, and you're going to feel like crap. And then your vibration's going to drop. You're not going to want to work out. You're going to hate that person more because you're being selfish, because Agnes is telling you what to do. And you don't deserve that. She doesn't deserve to be there. And it drives me crazy. And we all have an Agnes. We all do. Whether his name's Aaron or whatever, you know what I mean? You make it up. But you're always going to be at a war with yourself, a battle between the good and bad, you know? And you can't let the bad win, because the bad is going to make you hate your people, hate the world, hate yourself. Okay. You're going to start gaining weight, and you're going to die a lot earlier without experiencing life, right? Like you have so many complications when you gain weight. And like,
yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm going to defend Agnes, because Agnes, the flip side to Agnes is fun. So everybody has
no, fun was as a kid.
Everybody has an internal Your internal Agnes says, no, you can stay in bed for a little longer. You don't have to get up and be on camera when you do. And
Okay.
that's your internal, and we all have it. I'm not saying that it's helpful, and the work that I do in coaching is to identify that voice so that they're not driving your life car, that the balance centered you that hears Agnes can then soothe her and say, I get it. You hate being told what to do. You're not happy really with the way that you look, but you don't necessarily want to do the work that it's going to take to get you to a different place. So it's not killing that voice, it's recognizing who's talking so that you can soothe the one that's talking, because you'll also have the critic, right? Her name is Rose. Guess what my mother's name is? Who's constantly, no matter how much weight you lose, no matter what you're doing, you're still not doing enough. You're still da da da. And then that critic will take anything that anybody says, like, you're stupid for having that McDonald's, and take it and beat you up over the head with it, so that that's not helpful either. And Sam, no matter how much you care about a person, as Beth was saying, if you're not doing it for yourself, there's no amount of shaming, because that's what you're doing, out of the name of love. I care about you, therefore don't do that. There's no amount of shaming that is going to help a person develop their own discipline to want it for themselves, because you also have that voice that says, well, for me, my mom would say you're fat and you're ugly, and so no matter what I did, it was F you, I'll show you, I'm going to be a model, right, to show you that I'm not ugly, or I'm going to drop so much weight that you can't call me fat anymore. But until I got to the point where I knew that it was for me, then no amount of shaming is going to help with what I'm doing. So I just want to, okay, we're still okay with time. I want to clarify that oftentimes when it comes to relationships, and you were saying, one gains weight and then they split apart and then they lose the weight, and then just like, look at me, it does speak to that, the BS that you used to say, Sam. You completely turned on me this time. I don't know if you're afraid of getting like thrown out
What
of
happened?
the
What'd I
frame
say?
or something. But when we were with Alon, that expectation that women should look the same or similar to the way that they did, and that any weight gain is not a good thing. So that view that you used to have, but you completely turned around today. and Beth's really happy about it. I think Pierce Brosnan, who I got to interview and meet when I was at the Newport Beach Film Festival, is a great example of, he's constantly put out there with pictures of him and his wife. And I met her as well. They were doing a great film at the Newport Beach Film, Poisoning Paradise or something like that. I just butchered the name, but it's a great little short doc about our negative effect on Hawaii and the beautiful paradise there and what we're doing in the environment. But I met both of them, and she is significantly heavier than she was when they met. And so the press tries to get Pierce to say something about that weight gain. And to his wonderful credit, and he is a beautiful man. I've gotten to meet him twice. Once I was singing at an event fundraiser, and he was like, "You guys sound great with the choir, Agape International Choir," and so nice. But he will say, "This is the woman that I married, she's the mother of my children, and I love her exactly as she is." So I don't know if that's supporting or not supporting. Beth, go ahead.
No, everything that you're saying, I just think is, to me, the bottom line is when we're talking about going back to the relationship part of it, right? And one person works out, one person doesn't, or watches their health and all of that kind of stuff. It's really what you like, going back to what I said and what you just said is you got to do it for you. It's never going to work. You cannot, once you realize that you're not happy with how you feel, not always how you look, but it's how you feel mentally and physically. It's the insides. It could be even just like a little bit depression. You know that exercise helps with depression. So you could be getting healthy in so many different ways because you're working on other mental parts of you and other things that you're working on it for your blood pressure. But when you're doing your blood pressure and you're working on your depression, amazing things actually happen at the same time too. So, your body is going to change sometimes, like for the better, when you do realize there's certain things that you need to do for yourself, but it's not going to happen until you're ready to do it for you, until you're the one who's going to say, I'm not going to be sitting down and I can't play with my kids, or I'm not going to be like walking up and down the steps and getting out of breath, that whole thing, and like, again, working out with your partner, sometimes it's good. Maybe you guys both go to the gym at the same time, and maybe you take a class and maybe, someone else does the treadmill, whatever works. So sometimes going to the gym and going with together and doing two different things, you can also do that as well. So, I'm going to kind of balance that part out as well. What do you think, Sam?
Final word, Sam. I just got the 3. I think I got, is that a comment or is that Sam? I think that's Paul is saying 3 minutes. So go ahead, Sam. Final.
Okay, first of all, I gotta apologize to Agnes. Can't kill her, but don't let her win the war. She can win some battles, but don't let her win the war. And second, I do think if you are in a relationship with someone like that, or any relationship, you guys have to, like work each other up, be accountable for each other, and work with each other. If one's fallen, you help them. You say, hey, we need to start doing stuff more. Like don't just like, point at the person and blame them because you're in a relationship. So you guys are a couple. You guys got to do it together.
Beautiful. That's a good final word. Beth, final word. We're gonna run out of time.
The final word is, have fun with it. Whatever you do, have fun. It doesn't have to be like, I think Sam was saying, you got to like really work, but you don't. Go out for a walk. Get healthy, right? Go for a walk on the beach together. Do something fun together. Maybe it's a hike that maybe, I know some people don't like to hike, but it could find the fun things that you can do that will get you healthy. And I did not mention this, but I'm going to mention really quick, my book. Don't forget my book, because I forgot to say author when I was doing it. So I'm going to put that in there.
Hold it up again. This is a really good book that that you can get that has really great, practical, easy ways. Hold it up again. It's called
Think Healthy, Be Healthy.
Yeah. Do you want to give a copy away? I'm thinking we should wait until your next time on to give one away. So
yeah.
Give one away to me.
You work that out. I am Dr. Marissa. My final word is love yourself. And if you don't like the way you look 88% of the time, do something about it. If you want to do Love My Body Project 4.0 with me, let me know. I am so delighted to have had both of you on. I just want a little commercial on this Friday night. If you want some, come to my Get Happy Hour at 7 on a link. Just go to drmarissa.life. It's an hour. You can talk about anything, ask me anything. And then if you'd like to have a free happiness coaching session, Mondays are when I do that. Go to drmarissa.life and sign up. Saturday, I'm doing my balanced Tai Chi Gong, Chinese yoga on the beach. All of that is at drmarissa.life. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much. You know the drill.
Thanks,
it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace, inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever.